Good evening. Welcome along, everyone. I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're having a good evening. We are back as promised for the start of the FIFA World Cup knockout rounds. And it is a pretty interesting game to start off due to the fact that one of the hosts didn't win their group, as we are watching South Africa against Canada, who are now playing in the US, having lost their home advantage. There's a poll running at the top of the chat, no matter where you're watching this evening, so you can have a little look and let us know what you think the score is going to be. And hopefully, it'll be a good one. Because we're hoping this will be a good game. We're expecting a clash of styles. We're starting to think there's going to be a little element of attack v defence here. Are we going to get the South Africa from the first game or from the last two? And what are we going to get from Canada, who have looked strong at times, but not always the most successful at the back? We're a minute in. It's been a quiet start so far. So I can say good evening on Twitch to Steve, to Liam, to Jambo. Good to have you all in. And for the first time today, also simulcast on YouTube Shorts at the same time. Welcome into Mora Clark as well. Good to have you here. I hope you're all keeping well. As I mentioned a minute ago, there is a poll at the top of both chats, so you can let us know who you think's going to win. And it is 100% Canada on both at the minute, which is very close to what we had in the Discord earlier, where it was about 90-10. And you can let us know what you think the score will be as well. Do you think this is going to go to extra time? Do you think it'll be 90 minutes? Well, no, Jambo, I didn't know, because on the dual output, and that's why I was doing it on TikTok before, is because you can have one horizontal and one vertical. So I thought, as we've not got a Sunday YouTube video today, and it is basically where most of my viewers have come from, let's go and say hello over there. Obviously, Twitch is still the primary output. There's a lot of features on there with polls and different things that we can run, but it's nice to be able to be on both as well. So I'm appreciating everyone who's joining us on both. I hope you're keeping well, and thank you very much for coming and giving it a try. Let us know if it works technically well if you're over on the YouTube one as well, and let us know in the chat, both of you, what you think the score's going to be. I do hope we're going to get a good game. I think this might be a quite ambitious one. I think we might go for like a 3-1 or something like that to Canada. If they score the first goal and they score early, I think it could be quite good. If South Africa can hold the fort, which, by the way, nothing against them. They've got to go for it. They've got to try and hold the fort for as long as possible. Keep it defensive, keep it solid. And if they can, the longer it goes, they can then become a little more expansive, and maybe physically they'll have an advantage too. Yeah, Liam, I've gone 3-1 Canada as well. We're in agreement there. But I'm not sure whether we're going to work out looking stupid or not. It's happened to us all before, hasn't it? South Africa working down the left-hand side. It's been a tentative couple of minutes at the start. The only one to vote for South Africa. Steve's been bold today. 3-0, you said earlier. To South Africa, did you say? Or did you say to Canada? Liam's on a 35 stream streak. That is some effort. Canada getting their first break on down the left-hand side here. I am watching live on terrestrial TV, so I shouldn't be too far behind if you're watching on streaming services or anything. JJ, welcome in. 2-1. You're going for the South Africa. There you go. You're going bold against the grain. Let's see if you're right. I kind of based my South Africa predictions pre-tournament based on their AFCON, where I thought they were largely quite disappointing in terms of performances. But and the first game against Mexico, they were poor. They were all disciplined defensively. They were all over the place. But the last two games, they've not been brilliant by any means, but they've been really solid. They've fought really hard, and fair play to them. They've achieved something special. So you've got to give them huge credit. Louise, it's my mum's birthday today. Happy birthday! What a day, eh? There's a few coming in for South Africa now. You're going for £50. There you go. Well, come in, let me think. Hello to you. I hope you're keeping well. Birchie, good evening. Let us all know if you're coming in, what you think the scores are going to be. Slightly over the top, Louise. I don't think I would go that far, but I hope you have a good evening, and I hope everyone who's watching the game enjoys it. Birchie's gone 2-0 Canada. There you go. Back with the majority there. 105 is ridiculous. That's great. Makes me look like a Ricky. Steve, Jambo's on a 105 stream streak. That's something special, that. I forgot Canada's team. Hey, to be fair, Canada have got a pretty good side. And I thought they played really well against Bosnia without producing a moment of magic. And obviously they were pretty poor in front of goal. Made up for it against Qatar. And then we're disappointed in the last game. So long ball forward. I think the South African striker's offside here, but we're carrying on. But the flag's not gone up even belatedly. 25 yards out. They've got 5 up in the attack. They've got a few to support. Shot from distance is saved by the keeper, not held. A little bit of confusion. Johnson eventually clears. And now it's a breakaway down the right for Canada, but it's well defended in the end. And ends a South Africa player. He tries to do a little Cruyff turn in his own half, gives it away. Eventually concedes the throw. Who do you want to win the World Cup? Well, obviously, as an Englishman, it would be great if England won it. I don't personally think that's going to happen. So I think based on performances so far, you'd have to say France are the favourites. And if they play like that, they'll entertain everyone along the way. So I don't think there couldn't be any complaints if they won it at the moment, based on the way they're playing. Very coached, but we scored most of our corners in the first 6 months. Nice. Heart set piece coach gone to Celtic. Oh, wow. The old firm really are taking the lot of them, aren't they? When you don't watch the YouTube, you can build up streaks like this. You have the time to do so, absolutely. As we mentioned, Jambo, you're one of the odd ones out, aren't you? Yeah, that's the problem, though, for Canada as well. Not winning the group, it's the extra heat, isn't it? Yeah, the Steve Clark thing, I'm sure we'll talk about it a bit later, but it did come as a bit of a surprise how quick it was. Although I don't think it's a surprise overall. Be the same if England go out fairly early. Tuchel will be the same despite signing a new deal last month. Yeah, there's a few good players in the Canada squad, to be fair. Jonathan David's one. Carl Larin up front, the Southampton striker. Liam Miller, I know Birchie's mentioned, playing for Hull City. Who've just gone up to the Premier League, of course. And it's a long ball forward for Canada, right side of the box. Defended again, but not quite as strong there as they could be. Second time get it out for a goal kick. Miller is starting, by the way, Birchie, yeah. As is Alistair Johnson, who I know a few have kept up with before, sorry. Concerning, to be honest. Birchie's about 20 seconds behind. I think the new manager will want his own staff. I would agree with that. Steve's a couple of minutes behind. I'm miles behind on the chat as well. Apologies for that. Scotland should tempt Pep. There's ambition if ever I've seen it. In general or while watching the football, Steve. Brilliant. Twitch poll, 5-1 to Canada on the votes. 9-1 to Canada on Discord. And 2/3 of the vote to Canada on YouTube. Definite favourites and pressing very high here. I think Portugal, let me think, we're going to face Brazil if they make it to the finals. Don't know, Portugal haven't been convincing so far, but I've mentioned it a few times. That when they won Euro 2016, they didn't win a group game. And they only won one game in 90 minutes the whole way through. It's not always the most convincing team that makes it. I mean, England were very poor, famously, in Euro 24 and made it to the final. Was Canada getting left side of the box? Deflected crossover for a corner. The match has started, let me think. We're 8 minutes in. This is England's best way to win this year. The easiest way in, around a 32 or 60. I completely disagree with around a 16. The prospect of Mexico or Ecuador, I appreciate your point. If you're going to win the tournament, you need to win those games. But they've both looked very promising at times. And then if you get to the last 8 and face Brazil, that's when the England problems have generally come in the past. But no, I don't think England will win it. Yeah, so a lot of the pitches, Liam, because they've had a grass pitch put in, but the little bits around the edge, you can see there's a change in trim colour about, I don't know, a foot away from the edge of the pitch. There's a lot of pellets in there. And a few of them are mixed synthetics too. Still looking at going Dunbar. And yeah, it won't be immediately, Jambo, but I'm definitely looking at going this season. It's a ground that looks really cool. Be kind to the elderly Steve. Sai, welcome in. Mexico City will be hard for England. Completely agree. I think Ecuador have been one of my favourite teams to watch in this tournament as well. So whoever gets through there is tough. But I think maybe Ecuador, for all their quality, haven't quite got the firepower up front. Sons of the Rock Dumbarton. Yeah, definitely looking to go jumbo. But I have just put a lot of money into the Reading Luton away day, so that'll be an expensive start. Argentina's for the semis if they make it that far. Yeah, I guess the only good thing with England now is they can't play France till the final or Argentina till the semis. So it's only the last two games where they play, well, the last two finalists and winners. They've already played the other in Croatia from 2018. So I think it's ultimately, if they want to win the World Cup, they've got to win the next two matches. But the round of 16 does worry me. Yeah, Louise, I did see the curse magic for Ghana against England. I'm not sure personally I would believe in that. I think it was just a very good defensive performance. I feel it's a bit, I know they were talking about it for Ghana's point of view, but I actually think it's a bit harsh on them. I thought they were a really good defensive side. They deserved more credit than they got. Considering a year and a half ago where they were before Kirosh came in, when they had Chris Hughton, they didn't make it to AFCON. A 24-team AFCON and Ghana didn't make it. But they've recovered really well and they've been hard to beat, which is what Kirosh has done with a lot of sides in the World Cup over the years. Round of 32. I agree on paper that the round of 32 should be a routine game. DR Congo, while they did finish actually the highest of the third place sides in that table, they'll be very similar in setup to Panama, I feel. It'll be a similar type of game where it becomes patience and then maybe nick one or two in the second half. But we mentioned it and you talked about 9 of the 10 African teams getting through. We've talked about the 3 hosts doing really well so far. The South Americans, bar Uruguay, who are in a bit of a mess, had been strong. And some of the Channel Islands and that as well is the weather conditions. European sides don't generally do too well in these sorts of climates. As into the box they go. Good turn, but just a slightly heavy touch, allowing South Africa to nick it. And then a little foul to stop the counter. Going to try and do 1 or 2 neutral grounds next season. Yeah, it's a really different experience, Jambo. I don't know how much neutral football you've been to, but it is a very different experience to go in and watching a home or away game with your team. Spartans is tempting, but hard to get as they give discounts to Hearts and Hibs season ticket holders. That's a good scheme. That's what we started doing it with Luton, where a lot of the ones around back in the day, it used to be Bournemouth, St Albans gave a discount to season ticket holders. Stevenage did blue light discount and things. Oh, that's good. Yeah, local pre-season tournaments are always good fun over a couple of days. DR Congo have a solid team, but again, Steve, if England are going to win a World Cup, they've got to win those matches comfortably. But I think they'll unconvincingly blunder their way through it, as they did the Panama game last night, really. As South Africa work forward to the edge of the box, good football. Canada looking fragile at the back again. And the balls work wide to the left-hand side. The good news for England is playing in Atalanta, absolutely. The good news here is a 5 o'clock kickoff time, which is lovely. There's only, as it stands, if we went all the way, there would only be one overnight game, which is 16, isn't there? It's not too bad overall. Can't believe Chancellor and Member still going. Yeah, you do forget how young some of them were when they were in English football. As Canada get a breakaway down the left. Hang on a minute. Liam Miller works in left side of the box, supporting side, and he was probably a little bit unselfish. The challenge is there out for a corner. I think both are looking dangerous on the break. That's why I was so enticed by this game, because both sides' vulnerability is definitely defence. So you are the only one in Discord who backed South Africa win. There are a couple on YouTube who have been brave with it as well. Mexico 1 a.m. Sunday morning. Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? It's basically an away game at 1 o'clock in the morning. But after that, it would then be 8 o'clock all the way, wouldn't it? Alex, welcome in. Who are you rooting for? I'm not really rooting for either in this game. I'm watching as a neutral. I've probably been more impressed and enjoyed watching Canada more so far. South Africa have been gritty in the last 2 matches, and they've done their job. They've been fantastic. Canada in the first 2 games with the firepower they've shown. They've got quality. They're enjoyable to watch. They counter-attack quickly. I don't mind who wins, but I think Canada would edge it, and they've been fairly entertaining so far. Do you think Scotland got robbed? No. No, we've had a lot of talk about Scotland in the Discord the last couple of days. I I think they did as they were expected to. They beat the team that were below them in the world rankings. They lost to two of the seven best teams in the world. They did as expected. They've never been to the knockouts. They're not this major footballing nation. And the fact that football fans from Scotland are expecting to get through now is the biggest testament to the job that Steve Clarke has done. Similar to what happened with Southgate, where people were complaining that we weren't playing that well and getting to a final in 24. Like, they're the golden years from my lifetime. So it's very similar. But yeah, we've had a lot of discussions about that the last couple of days. On paper, is it a France or a Spain win? Quite possibly. I mean, they're the two strongest European sides on paper for sure. I mean, France look frightening at the minute. Who do you think is better, Messi or Ronaldo? Better's a hard question. I personally prefer Messi to the extent that I think he's a more technically gifted player. And I'm always drawn to that because for me, that's the thing that you can't teach, you can't improve. But then equally, do you have to say it's actually better for Ronaldo because he's not had as much given talent to start with naturally and has worked to an extent physically and mentally that probably no player in our generation has. So I prefer watching Messi. I wouldn't say which is better. And it's a debate that always frustrates me because just enjoy how brilliant both of them have been. But I prefer watching Messi's style, but they're both fabulous. It's impossible to choose, really, isn't it? You're going for Messi. There you go. I don't mind. There's always this thing with the Messi Ronaldo that everyone gets really upset if someone says the other, but you can't blame anyone for picking either because there's justifiable reasons to pick both. But it's just a personal preference of what style you prefer to watch, really. Morocco game, do you not think should have gotten a draw at least? Well, they were one mistake away, weren't they, JJ? They were one mistake away from getting a point and getting through and being heroes. But look, they played two of the seven best teams in the world and they came up just short. There's no shame in that. Be very interesting to see how they get as manager next year, Birchie. Absolutely. As much as it's easier to get to tournaments now, hard job to follow. I mean, obviously, Scotland are virtually guaranteed getting to the Euros because two teams are going to get wild cards. But after that, combined with the fact that after the next Euros, you'll probably be seeing towards the end of Robertson, McGinn, even McTominay will be passing 30, as will a lot of the other core players of the squad. It's going to be an important time for them. Could have qualified in another day if a few things went your way, but you did as expected. Exactly, Jambo. Well, you did more than expected. Because to win a group, including Denmark in the qualifiers, is a fabulous effort. Liam, Messi the better player overall, but Ronaldo the better goal scorer. Yeah, but then I don't know about that because I think that's based on the bias of the last 10 years because Ronaldo has changed himself into a striker. If you go back to the Ronaldo late Manchester United, early Real Madrid years, was probably that type of player who'd go and take on 4, 5, 6 players. Ronaldo's significantly better in the air. So what do you class as an overall player? I don't know. It's an impossible debate, isn't it, frankly? Exactly, Jambo. So it's whoever you want. Messi for me, but enjoy the good work. Enjoy both of their good work. That's the main thing. What are your thoughts on the hydration breaks? I've not minded them that much. I don't like the fact that they've lied about what they are. Just call them commercial breaks for the American TV. That's all you need to. But it's actually impacted the games quite significantly. We've seen there was a point about halfway through the second lot of fixtures where half of the games had a goal or a key chance or a key moment within 10 minutes of the hydration break. So it's maybe having a tactical input that we didn't expect. It's obviously hard from a traditional point of view. It's not something I'd like to see regularly in football when I'm going to watch League One and League Two games in the flesh. And I appreciate it's probably far more frustrating when you watch it in a stadium. A bit like VAR is probably easier watching on TV than it is in the ground. But I've not hated it. And we said this all before, once all of the nonsense and the politics and whatever out the way, whenever it comes to a World Cup or a major tournament, as soon as the football starts, we all get engrossed and it's great. Welcome in. Spamusa, welcome in. Good to have you here. Thank you very much for all the kind words. I do appreciate it. It is the first ever one that we've simulcast to YouTube Shorts as well. We're normally over on Twitch, which is where we are for the most point here. Louise, be honest, are you good at football? I am a solid Sunday League player and nothing more. So I used to play in goal for my school team and centre half on a Sunday League. Centre half Sunday League, I'm fine, but nothing else more than that. In goal when I was 11, I had a trial for Luton, but I was nowhere near good enough, nor tall enough. Um, but yeah, I'm a good Sunday League player. I can hold my own in a game of football, but I'm not an attacking player. I'm not a skillful player. And until a couple of years ago, I was slightly overweight and probably couldn't carry myself that quickly physically. So yeah, I would not be outstanding by any stretch. Yeah, exactly, Birchie. It's like choosing between a Federer v Djokovic or a Federer Nadal or something, isn't it? It's impossible. And you're right with that comparison. Whereas Messi is the Federer and Ronaldo is more of a Nadal or a Djokovic, where it's that intense work physically, isn't it, and mentally. Whereas Federer was the natural talent. It's a nice comparison, that. Yeah, the hydration breaks are too long. I would agree with that, Steve. 3 minutes is pushing it. Just a 60, 90 seconds would be nice. Danka, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate that. It's easier to watch VAR on TV as you have more knowledge of what's happening. I completely agree. I mean, I do make the same joke in pretty much every FM video, which you won't see, Jumbo. Free kick into the box for Canada. Unmarked. Oh, my word. Completely unmarked. And he's headed it straight at the keeper. It's a poor connection. That's the first golden chance of the match, that. But yeah, Jambo, when you're in the ground, you have no idea what's happening with VAR. As now South Africa break down the right. It's turning into a good game for a couple of minutes, this. Cutting inside on the left foot. Held up by the Canada defender. Back to the edge of the box. Shots blocked. Just starting to come to life, this game. But now we're going to get a hydration break next time it goes out. But yeah, in FM, Jambo, it's the one thing they do really well. You have no idea what's happening. Is that Who Am I see, Jambo? Yep, we'll get that ready in a minute. First quiz of the night. Always good fun. The right-footed Messi, Louise, eh? I believe it when I see it. Some statement that. I tell you what, to be honest, I know, take away the Messi and Ronaldo debate, my favourite to watch in my lifetime has been Zidane. I love the way Zidane played. And I still feel he gets undervalued, just sort of scrubbed off as he was a level below those two, which I don't think is entirely fair. What did you think to the news? Dan, welcome in. Steve Clark resigning. Surprised by the timing, not surprised it happens. Jambo, I'll probably be the worst player you ever know. I don't know. I've played with a few people who aren't great. No power generated. Absolutely, Liam. Just didn't get a full connection with the head, did he? I'm going to have to top up the drink at half time as well. Yeah, I don't think we've got any in, Alex, from Canada or South Africa, and rightly so, because the last thing they're going to be wanting to do is watch the stream on YouTube or Twitch, are they? They'll be watching the game, hopefully with people from their own nation having a bit of fun. It's why we don't stream the England games or even the Scotland ones normally. Roberto Baggio for you, Birchie. Adama Traore, the most exciting, yeah, because you would have seen pure pace and power live in the flesh. Those couple of years at Wolves were scintillating. That City away game, I always remember that one. Ridiculous. I mean, I mentioned it, Birchie, when we had that Premier League season a couple of years ago, and that FA Cup tie where De Bruyne and Haaland turned up, and De Bruyne got 5 assists for Haaland's 5 goals. It was just the best thing I've seen in the flesh. Incredible. Right, Jambo. Who am I time? We haven't done one for a few days, have we? So for this one, I'm going to give you a list of a few names, ask you who's played with all of them. You can put the clubs together and work out the person. No cheating, you're only cheating yourself. Let's see if we can find one that's a bit more poignant timing-wise. Do you know what? I'm going to give you what I think is an easy one in the chat. And we'll see if it is. I think this is a quite easy one. So here we go. I'll put it in both chats so you can see it. Who am I? I've played with Jordan Henderson, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Cole, Wes Brown, Jeremy Frimpong, and John McGinn. Thought I'd get the John McGinn link in. I had to get the Scottish one in before they left. Robertson's a good shout, Jambo. Not the answer. Not the answer. Not McGregor. No. Going too straight down the middle there. He did similar when he lost 4 to City and I think got 4 assists then. Yeah, incredible. But it was the fact that it was just, they were on a complete telepathy. It was just incredible to watch. Football Academy Manager updates. Liam, I've quite enjoyed them. I've not had that much time to play it this summer. But it's obviously one of the games that a lot of you enjoyed this year. I've got to say, that Football Director game we tried the other day, or the other week, sorry, has been absolutely nuts. I think it's got double the amount of views of anything else ever on my channel. The appetite for a football ownership game is incredible. I really hope they get it right. I'm really looking forward to non-league Football Manager as well. I think that's going to be a cool game. But yeah, Football Academy Manager, it's one I've gone back to every couple of months just to check the updates, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a game that, to be fair, it was the first ever game, I think, where the developer contacted me before the game came out and said, do you want to try it? And I thought, why not give it a go? It's something I've not done before. And it's really given me an appetite for it. But they're doing great work for a little independent studio to produce a game of that quality. So cool. Louise, old football is different. You got legends like Pele, Gary Lineker, Beckham, Ronaldinho, Henry, Zidane. Exactly. And everyone who's from a certain generation is going to say that their one's better for obvious reasons. They're almost impossible to compare, but just enjoy all of them. That's the main thing. I mean, Henry was frightening in the Premier League growing up. I always loved watching Zidane play. I do feel more in the social media age now. You do get more where it's about the player rather than the team. There was never really that thing of, oh, I'm a Ronaldinho person, or I'm an Henry, or I'm a Zidane person growing up. Whereas now it's people will sit and watch Messi clips and Ronaldo clips rather than, say, Real Madrid or Manchester United clips. Bear with me with the background sound. I'm just getting the fan on. Dutch Jambo, interesting question. I'll give you the clues in a few minutes. Mignolet is incorrect. Phil Bardsley is incorrect, Si. Frimpong at Celtic could be City, though. Big question. I've been quite clever with the links there, because while I think it's a quite easy answer when you get it, I've tried to do ones where there's a lot of potential double links and you don't know which ones are and aren't. Because obviously you could have Frimpong and Van Dijk being Celtic or Liverpool. You could have Henderson being with Van Dijk at Liverpool. Wes Brown and Andy Cole play together at multiple clubs. So there's a lot of overlap there, potentially. Best striker battle in Premier League history. Henry v Van Nistelrooy. Oh, Henry for me. Van Nistelrooy wasn't there long enough to be up there. Van Nistelrooy is arguably, you could argue, the best finisher in the Premier League that I can remember seeing. But Henry as a striker, for me, he had everything, didn't he? He was brilliant. Where was Hendo at other than Liverpool? Jordan Henderson. So he has played Liverpool, Brentford now, obviously, Ajax, Sunderland. Where did he go abroad? Qatar, England. Got a few. There are no, I'm not doing a Jambo, who am I? There's no Soccer Aid links. There's no youth links or anything here as well. These are all senior club and international links in these ones, as they are throughout the World Cup. Some guys played for Ajax and Celtic, I think. Yeah, there's a couple. Van Dijk and Frimpong could be a Dutch link. You never know. Henry was unplayable for 3 to 4 years. I mean, that away European side will always live in the memory for me. What a performance. Back in the ITV days, wasn't it? Yeah, there is the argument with Messi that he should have had a red card in the first game. It was a poor challenge. But we have seen 3 similar challenges in the tournament. They've all gone without a red card. Kenny McLean with one for Scotland as well. There was another one back of the leg in the second lot of games. I can't remember who it was. But the referees have generally been very lenient this tournament, and I should say very good as well. We're always very quick to criticise referees when they're the talking point, as they so often have been in the Premier League and whatever in recent years. But in this tournament, we've barely spoken about them, which is absolutely what's got to be said. And that's how it should be. All into the box, poor again. No final product in this game yet. Sunderland could be Cole and Brown as well, you're right. No, Liam, not there. And the quarter against Netherlands. Holland, yeah. I tell you what, they've started well as well in this tournament. Correct, Si. Craig Gordon is the right answer. What an effort on the Who Am I? First quiz of the night, and Si is back in form. Craig Gordon is the correct answer. I'll give you all the links in a second. Sunderland, yeah. Not Scott Carson. Craig Gordon is the one. Let me give you the links. And this is why I said there were a few potential double links in there. And the one that it was Sunderland. There was a triple link. There's only actually 3 different links in here. So we have Jordan Henderson, Andy Cole and Wes Brown were all at Sunderland over a 3 or 4 year period. Virgil van Dijk and Jeremy Frimpong were both at Celtic. Again, slightly, they had eras where they didn't overlap as players, but he was there during both. And John McGinn was Scotland, of course. International link as well. A little bit of a curveball at the end there. Frimpong alone at Celtic, yep. But all senior links. Craig Gordon is our Who Am I. Excellent effort. Do love a Who Am I. I was thinking him, but I couldn't pick him with Frimpong yet. That's it. Because there was a fairly brief loan spell, wasn't it? Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Prime Juventus. Exactly. There's so many great moments. Bale's overhead kick against Liverpool in a Champions League final. And then going back to my favourite of Zidane, I think it's the first Champions League final I remember watching at the age of what would have been 8 or 9 then, probably 9. And Zidane, that over the shoulder left-footed volley against Bayer Leverkusen in the final. Still one of my favourite goals of all time. The same as I love Gianfranco Zola growing up, because I remember him scoring a near post corner against Norwich where he flicked it in from behind, one leg behind the other. It was great. Special goals make you believe in players, don't they? I don't deserve to be part of it if I couldn't get that. I fooled everyone with the Hearts one. I forgot Gordon at Celtic. Yeah, very good goalkeeper for them, of course. I've 1 out of 40 for next season already. 2 being trial. Brilliant. I've actually got quite a long list of Who Am I's for my normal standard, so feeling pretty good about next season. And obviously, after we get through the next couple of weeks and I've been to Luton, we will then get back to the regular FM streams as well. Which, unfortunately, I haven't found a way to simulcast in vertical yet. I'm going to try and find a way for FM27. Because I'd love to be able to do the stream where you can see it on YouTube Shorts as well. Recentish player underrated for me. Sebastian Giovinco, yeah, classy. Tiny bloke at Parma, magic like a modern Zola, yeah. Signed him in FM many a time. I do, the only thing I feel from being a Luton fan at the time I have been, is that I've not really seen a lot of the top players live in the flesh. Because obviously I couldn't afford to go to those sorts of games growing up. And I really hope that when the next Euros comes around, there's a load of stars playing. And I've said I don't care if I get to an England game or not. It'd be great, but I don't mind. But even if I can go to group games and see some of the generations of greats now, like your Mbappe's and whoever else is going to feature, would be absolutely great. Oh, thank you very much, Louise. Appreciate that. Obviously, we are predominantly FM here on this channel. We do have a football podcast for the EFL as well, if you're interested in that sort of thing on YouTube, called The Honest Football Podcast. But we always do these watch-alongs. On Twitch, where we've done the live streams, we play FM, but we generally end up talking about football more than anything, which is always part of the fun. It's the intention to just be like a A chilled pub chat with your mates. The Who Am I has finished, Jake. Did a Hearts player and fooled a couple of the Hearts fans, eh? Gordon was the only player I could think of who'd been at Sunderland and Celtic. McGeady would be one, would he? Not an overlapping era with some of them, though. Underused by Italy, Birchie. You're not wrong there. But then you say underused, and then you look at some of the other talent about and you go, I kind of get it. This game has been lacking in quality so far, hasn't it, in the final third? Lots of endeavour. So you've seen Liam Walsh and Mark McGuinness. Surely that trumps seeing Zidane. Bloody hell. It's some form of talent, I'll give you that. I'd have been disappointed if I didn't get that, Jake. Yeah, considering 3 of the links were Sunderland as well. Yeah, there is a lot of slipping on the surface. It's a fair point. It does start to look like a game, doesn't it, JJ, that's going to pens or extra time. It really does. No, Royce Louise, thank you very much for being in. Do appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming to say hello. You're going to play Pro Cycling Manager. So I'm not really a fan of cycling, Alex. I know nothing about it. It's something I am, whether or not with that game, I don't know. But it's definitely something I'm dabbling in more now. Is obviously I've branched out within the footballing world and the sporting world a bit. I've obviously played cricket games, snooker games and things on the channel before because they're sports I like. But it's definitely something that would make me broaden my horizons a bit now, even if it's just having a first look at them. We played F1 Manager a few years ago and really enjoyed that. And although I'd say I'm a casual fan of it, I'm not an avid follower of the sport. And that was really fun as well. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't rule it out in the future. Jake, sorry I'm a bit late, just trying to get back to normality after hearing that Chelsea put in, that bid, 8 million for Xhaka, that's horrendous, isn't it? And it's probably going to cost them a deal or add an extra 5 or 6 million onto what would have been a fair price as well. Yeah, you're exactly right, JJ. It's been a pretty good game of football in terms of both teams are going for it. There's a lot of counter-attacks, but just the final ball in. Obviously, Canada had that great chance with the header, which really should have done better with. But otherwise, we're not really seen anything clear-cut. But I wouldn't say it's one of those. There's a lot of these games where you're going to feel that 2 teams are maybe afraid to lose it in the first half. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like there's a little bit of a lack of quality in the final third. And that's the thing, is can they punish Canada for not taking that chance? Yeah, it was a ridiculous offer for Xhaka, wasn't it? My main regret is not going over to Italy earlier. I wish I'd seen some of that golden era in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, obviously it would have been too early for me. And financially, I probably couldn't have afforded to go and watch regular football until the mid-2010s and that. But I definitely, I want to make up for that in the next Euros. I'll go in the ballot and go to any game I can get a ticket for. Ideally group ones, because I won't be able to afford, I imagine, some of the later ones. Yeah, they say that, Jake, but it only takes the player to kick up a stink, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, you've really started following Palmer in the flesh just as things started to go really wrong, haven't you? Canada have got a fairly decent side across the board. They're so much stronger than they were 10 or 15 years ago, but the cutting edge, obviously, is a very specific style of play from Jesse Marsh. And if it doesn't pay off with early goals, they are always going to be vulnerable at back later on. How likely that is a little later in the window is another question. Exactly. But 8 million, as Waterford says, welcome in, Waterford Wizard. It is a bit of an insult. Completely agree. The YouTube poll has now finished. 71% went for Canada there as well. That's still 3 or 4 votes for South Africa, though. Would you go to Hampden, Dublin and Cardiff at the Euros? Hampden and Cardiff, definitely yes. Dublin, I'll need to sort out a passport beforehand, but yes, that would be the plan. And considering you can go direct from an airport I can physically walk to, it would be a bit of a bad excuse not to, wouldn't it? But I have never... going to Cardiff away with Luton is literally the only time I've been outside of England in my life, so... It'd be something if I made it to 4 countries in a couple of weeks. If Xhaka wants to go, it'll happen eventually. It's the way with all transfers, Steve, unfortunately, isn't it? Been disappointed with Canada tonight. Yeah. Obviously, they had the one great chance, didn't they, Jake, with that header? But otherwise, it's just been a little bit toothless in the final third from both teams, really. Canada free kick, though, in a dangerous position now. Millennium Stadium's very underrated for me, Birchie. I've walked past it when we were away for that weekend for Cardiff Luton. But it was a rugby weekend there. But no, I quite enjoyed Cardiff as a place. It helped it was the first day of the season in the middle of August, but I've said it for the Euros. I'll go in the ballot for basically every group game and early knockout game. Any game that's affordable, essentially. And anything I can get a ticket for, then I'll go. It'll be my treat to myself for years of hard graft. Well, I'm hoping as well, Liam, for family heritage, I might be able to get an Irish passport, which make things easier. But then if I'm travelling with people who've got a UK one, it's not really going to make any difference. Canada free kick into the back post. Headed over the bar. I'm not sure this is going to be 3-1 now, is it? It does look a little bit different to that. Thank you, everyone who's joined in on YouTube Shorts for the first time today as well. I hope you're enjoying it. And thank you to all the regulars for the chat on Twitch. I'm having a good one. And I hope you are too. Get the drink in. Ready for the halftime top up. Your 1-0 South Africa is still there, Si. You're absolutely right. I revised to 1-0 from 2-0 after that missed header. It does look like a game that's going to be quite tight now. But it's the sort of game, isn't it, where maybe if South Africa score the first goal, it doesn't change too much. But if Canada do, I think it becomes a very different game towards the end, and we could still get chaos. And don't forget, in this tournament, the second half in most games has been significantly better and more open. Whether it's a blend of fatigue, tactical changes, subs having an impact with fresh legs, or just games opening up after the first goal. But the second halves have generally been a lot better. If it's grandparents who are automatically eligible for an Irish passport, what do you mean now? Probably poorest game of the knockout phase quality-wise between these two. I think on paper that's fair. Oh, across the box from Canada, nothing comes of it. It's fair to say that it was the game on paper that you'd probably think as a neutral. Well, there's maybe 2 or 3 where you'd think maybe these aren't going to be the best ones to watch, but it's got a lot of intrigue about it because it's such a big opportunity for Canada as host. South Africa, obviously, out of the phase for the league. I keep saying league phase because I've been recording Champions League all day. Out of the group stage for the first time. There's a couple of games that look a bit one-sided, and there's a couple of games that look a bit lower in quality. I think going to the game we're going to watch on Friday night, Australia-Egypt is probably in that boat, where 2 teams who have got an opportunity rather than being teams that would be favourites at this stage. Maybe Switzerland, Algeria, but that might be a bit harsher on the Swiss who have been brilliant for a few tournaments now. Evening to you, Harvey. Hope you're well. Ball into the box, off the line from the Canada header. Rebounds in, off the line. Brilliant save keeper, third time, and is scrambled away. Oh, Canada have missed another big chance. First one's off the line. Second one's blocked again. Third one's a terrific bit of goalkeeping. How about that? That is something else, isn't it? What a save. What a save. 1-0 South Africa it'll be. To have 2 off the line, but then the keeper makes himself enormous. But the second one doesn't even reach the line, does it? It's the sort of thing you think, Jake, we watched this exact game, didn't we? We watched Canada-Bosnia on the opening night. We watched this exact thing. Well, the opening Canada night, sorry, because it was the second game, wasn't it? But Canada dominated. They couldn't take their chances and ended up being held. Dropping into the Europa League, proving fruitful. Yeah, it's been interesting, Jake. I'm really intrigued to see where that save goes because I think we're quite close to the top 15 at a coefficient. And if we can then get 3 flying into the box, Canada, is that a penalty? Oh, he's given a goal kick. That looked, from the far angle we've got, that looked a little bit clumsy at first. It's just whether when he swung back, he's made the contact with the front of the leg or if he's been taken out. Yeah, me too, Harvey. I could really do with a good night's sleep, especially with the next few days coming. A reminder as well, do you know what I'm really looking forward to? And I know it's selfish, but tomorrow, there's no, oh, yeah, that's a penalty. That's a penalty all day long. He's gone to kick the ball. The South Africa player's got his leg in between ball and man, but not touched the ball. Oh, does his toe touch the ball? That's going to be the only question here. The toe touching the ball is the only thing that could save him. It looks clumsy. It's a pen, if that's the case. But did he touch the ball with his toe? I think he does. Well, wait. This one will take a while. Yeah, Harvey, one of the things selfishly I'm looking forward to tomorrow is that I'm just going to be watching the 2 games, relaxing on the sofa. It's going to, maybe even in the garden if it's nice enough. Yeah, no penalty, right decision, I think. Was clumsy, though. And just get to really enjoy a night of the football. But then we're here on Tuesday night. We're going to be live watching the Tuesday night game. 6 p.m, slightly earlier time for Ivory Coast, Norway. I've got to say, one of the games I'm most looking forward to in terms of closeness and intrigue. Thursday, we're back at the usual time of 8 for Spain, Austria, which will be a lot closer than I think will be a lot closer than others think. And then Friday night, 7 p.m, that game I mentioned, Australia, Egypt. A good chance for both. And then we can crack on with the round of 16 and that the following week. I'm really looking forward to this week. It's going to be fun. How's that not been given, Waterford? No, see, first glance, me, you, Jake, we're all saying the same thing, but he gets a tiny toe end on the ball before the challenge. If that touch on the toe end had come after he'd fouled the man, he was probably in trouble, but because it came before, I think he's all right. Canada played a through ball again. I think he's just onside on this left. Cuts in onto the right foot, takes it back on the outside again. Good defending South Africa. They're digging in. Definitely showing the performance of the latter 2 games rather than the opening night against Mexico. Harvey got a day off Wednesday. Looking forward to it. Lovely. I've got a complete day tomorrow. I've done tomorrow's video for FM already. All I've got to do is make a roast dinner, watch the football. Happy days. Yeah, it's a shame. It's probably 2 of the games I'm most looking forward to. Netherlands, Morocco, and Mexico, Ecuador are both early morning ones, but it'll still be fun either way. Oh, Maka, thank you very much. 34 months in a row, 55 in total on the resub. He's past 4.5 years. You absolute lunatic. The legend has arrived. What's happening with Stephen Whittaker? Any big signings yet? Couple of players a little bit unhappy. Jesse Marsh just getting him off the pitch. Probably not the poorest decision there. He's getting the players away, and then he's probably going to have a go at the ref himself, I guess. Yeah, I would probably agree with that, Liam. I don't think there's enough in any of them. But is the touch on the ball is the key there. And the fact that he came before the touch on the man. I'm going to try and catch them all this week, Jake. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple which I'm not going to catch live, but I'll do my usual. Because I think the fortunate thing this week, if I'm right, there's not more than one overnight game any week, is there? I mean, you could argue Friday morning, but then midnight, I can probably make that one. I was very tempted to book a half day off on Friday, so I could get up, bundle through till about 1 or 2 o'clock, and then have a nap before Australia, Egypt. But other than that, there's only one overnight game, so I'll just watch them when I'm starting work the next day. Aidan, welcome into you. Good to have you here. In fact, I don't think there's more than one overnight game anywhere else for the rest of the tournament after that. But obviously, it's mixing in with the next couple of Saturdays going to pre-season matches for the first time this year, etc. Here he is, the king of the Steve Clark hate club. Was it a first pre-season game yesterday? Sterling shook up. Josh Mullin looks like it'd be a good signing. Brilliant. I was supposed to be at a first pre-season game yesterday. Was going to be Ilkley Town v Garforth, but it got postponed in advance due to some reason or another. So my first pre-season game is Halifax v Sheffield United this Saturday. And then next week, I'm in Luton for Hitchin Luton on the Saturday. So a couple of Saturdays in a row. I was really hoping it'd be a Sunday or Monday to get to that same weekend while I was down south, but not to be. Jay, welcome in. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you for being here. How is Scunthorpe getting on this summer? Any more news? It's the opposite. Marsh's the one being calmed down by his players. I thought it was the opposite from what I could see. I am indeed Waterford. ITV. Obviously without the sound on for copyright reasons. Jay, come on. We're better than that. I think there's a few kings of the Grant Hanley Scapegoat Club. But anyway, this is a World Cup watch-along stream. Let's focus on the excitement of the World Cup. So I was in great goal scoring form a couple of years back. Hopefully he gets a few for you. Brilliant. Thank you everyone who's joined in today on YouTube as well. Appreciate all the support and the likes. Something a little bit different. And thank you to everyone, as usual, for being on the Twitch. And Macro, I think you've just set a record there at 55 months. I think there's a couple 1 month behind you. I think you're literally about 2 weeks ahead of the next highest. I'll double check that before the next stream. Did you get any sort of inkling of the Stephen Whittaker way, a style of playmaker from yesterday, or too early to tell? Scunthorpe has no room to talk about other teams being crap. Hey, to be fair, Jambo, the majority of us in the chat are in the same boat there. We can all have a laugh about it because all of our teams, the majority of the time, are crap. I know you guys have had a good season, but come on, it was only a few years ago we were watching you on Friday nights in the Scottish Championship. We've all been there. There's not many big club fans around here, are there? Welsh 19s lose 7-0 in the opening game, but still looking forward to Wednesday. It's a shame it overlaps, really, the two under-19 tournaments, because I would have watched a bit otherwise. I got a ref on, she said it was a pen. Is that? Oh, that's Christina Uncle, but she's got most decisions wrong so far, Waterford, unfortunately. What was the one the other night? It was a big one. She got the wrong decision. I can't remember. It was the one where they overturned the red card, wasn't it? The yellow and pen to a red. I can't remember what game it was now. My mum thought Jesse Marsh was Jeremy Kyle. Brilliant. Oh, that's something, isn't it? I'm surprised a couple in the Discord don't support big teams. Well, there are a few. Like Tom's... I think the good thing is, Jambo, like even so, Tom's a Luton fan. Tom's an Arsenal fan. Jack's an Arsenal fan. Gooner's an Arsenal fan. But they all also follow like local lower league clubs. So Jack with Swindon, Gooner with Cardiff, Tom with Luton, obviously. So everyone's had that sort of element of going and watching lower league football regularly. And even a lot of the people who do support big clubs are supported ones that have then gone and had tough times, whether it be Barbs with Leeds, Birchie with Wolves. Obviously, historically, we had a couple of Villa fans. Even they were in a championship when we started to have a little bit of regular live streaming on the channel. So we've all had it. And even Aiden, I guess, Chelsea fan, but then going and following Clydebank every week. So you get that little mix. There's not... Even the big club fans aren't snobs about it because they go and watch a lot of lower league football or have done over their lifetime. Too early. It was two 60-minute matches versus Stenhousemuir. Lost 3-0 and Dumbarton won on pens after a 0-0 draw. About a totally different team in each. Hopefully some encouraging signs to come soon. Yeah, that was the thing. It was the ruling that wasn't guessed. Oh, Canada, Qatar, that's the game. One of us is managerless for 2 months. Steve, yeah, that's true. And obviously, if you're to believe today, the Rob Edwards one has fallen through as well. But the problem is now, for any manager they go in for, they're going to know that they're third or fourth choice, aren't they? Jay, come on. She said McGinn should have had a pen against Morocco. Again, whether you think it's a penalty or not, the McGinn Morocco one, it's not going to get overturned. Oh, to be fair, that second angle with the challenge we've just seen in this game, he clearly did get the touch of the ball first. I didn't see that angle in the replays at the time. Rob Edwards, Scott, no, I don't think so. I don't think international management is what he would want at this stage. It'd be like if you watch Hearts, then went to see Civil Servant, yeah. But Hearts obviously were Scottish champ for a while, weren't they? So I think it probably is Steve. Obviously, that's the main reason he left Borough for Wolves. And it's the main reason he came to us and Watford originally. One thing I will say is our new goalkeeper is the worst keeper I've seen in 46 years supporting the club. That is a bold statement for the middle of June, Macca, sorry. Very bold statement at this stage. Uncle still thinks that's a pen, but there was a clear touch on the ball first. Sad that there are too many people who don't know what stop means. The social media generation, Jamboy. Remember a couple of years ago when you used to love winding everyone up with the conspiracies? How the tables have turned, eh? After that 1-0 win against 83rd ranked team. Oh, come on, Jay. They beat a team ranked below them and they lost to two of the best 7 teams in the world. Nothing happened that we didn't expect. Just relax. We've got a bit of integrity here. There's Twitter for that stuff. Come on. Right. They're replaying that one off the line. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Oh, to be fair, I mean, I don't think the Scots can say the English are obsessed, given what we've seen in the recent ones. There's been plenty of give or take both ways, haven't there? Yeah, you got to have a little nibble. It's the modern way, isn't it? You are indeed, Liam. You've all got to cool down now. I haven't had to tell any of the non-Scots off yet. Oh, there you go. We're having fun. We'll keep it light-hearted. Right, it's the ads before the second half, so I better go and take the breather and get another drink. You all know the drill by now. Go and get yourselves a drink, top it up, whatever else. Get a snack, get an ice cream, it's still warm. We'll be back in 3 or 4 minutes for the second half. Stick with us on both Twitch and YouTube, and we'll be back in a few minutes where hopefully this game will do what the rest of the tournament has done, and the second half will come to life. We'll see you in a few minutes to find out if it does. And we are back, ready for the second half. Thank you very much to everyone that stuck with us. I do appreciate you being here. I hope you've had a good top up of the drinks and got yourself some treats ready. Because this game, it's been a little bit tough so far. It's not been for a lack of endeavour. There's not been a lack of attacking intent. There is no defensive play here. It has just lacked that little bit of quality in the final third. But hopefully, as has been the case with a lot of this World Cup, the second half is going to come to life. And maybe before the end of the night, Jake will have to remind me to update the score. We'll hope so. Because we certainly don't want to be here till 11 o'clock watching penalties, do we? No, Liam, we don't want that. We want an early night. Get ready for the week ahead where we've all got to do the overnight shifts. Let's have a look. I'm open about not being a Scotland lover, but even I have to concede they had a horrible draw. Oh, absolutely. It was a tough draw. He's not giving up, is he? He's not giving up, is old Jay. Completely agree. What makes me laugh is that a lot of them wanting a manager to be playing like Pep Barcelona, of course. But then, Jake, we laugh about that. Wasn't that the big criticism of Southgate when he got to the Euros final in 2024? We're no better here. And that's my point, is there's so many similarities between the two nations. It's quite funny. Well, to be fair, Jambo, in this chat, we do kind of have to keep an eye on Scotland because about half of the regular chatters are Scottish as well. So it would be rude of us not to keep up to date. And as you know, we watch a bit of Scottish football. And you know what? We've got 5 weeks to the day, I think. No, not to the day. 5 weeks to go until our first Scottish Championship watch-along of the season on the 7th of August. Which will be the night before I hopefully tick off the next of the 92. I've got my first 3 for next season booked in, which will take me up to 75. Just 17 to go then, and the end line is in sight. Please don't be right about Penslew. Had a conference yesterday, just local FA1, and we had a guy from the FAW sits on IFAB. Asked if we had any suggestions for law changes. He said there's 8 votes and 6 is needed for it to be approved. 4 is from the UK nations and 4 from FIFA. Wow. So it's half and half. Early night, come what may. It's for you, Steve. Yep, it's a lovely early night for you. Doing any Premier Sports Trophy? Only if I can get a... in terms of live, probably not. We're still looking at a potential July for Scotland, but it's unlikely. Whether I do any watch-alongs will depend on whether I can get a free trial of Premier Sports, which they sometimes give out in July. But at the moment, no. We'll see if that's the case when we get to it. As it is, to be fair, the first weekend of the Premier Sports Trophy, I'm in Luton, so there wouldn't be any anyway. And the third weekend, we've got family up. So it's only really the middle weekend where I might get one in. Scottish Prem was more entertaining than the EPL last season for once. Agreed. I really... and I love the Scottish Championship, as you know. That's one of my favourite things on the Friday night. Sterling Dundee United live Premier Sports Match Day 1. That is when I will be... Well, to be fair, Macca, that could be a huge day for me because I could be at Hitchin v Luton in the afternoon. Well, I'm definitely going to be at that. And then it could be England's quarter-final, which you'll be delighted to know if we make it that far. Not if my prediction of going out in the last 16 comes true, but we'll see. You can't say the Scottish title race wasn't good, Jay. I appreciate the outcome ended up being the same, but it was definitely entertaining. Was our price for joining FIFA? What day is that? That's the 11th of July, yeah. So same day I'm at Hitchin, Luton. Does mean knowing Hitchin, I'll be going to the best burger restaurant for lunch beforehand, which I've been waiting a fair few months for. Playing domination at the World Cup. I'm not getting involved in the Scottish football chat there. However, Harvey has gone for the big one. The after dinner trivia, random general knowledge as it turned out. And we're still on science and nature at the moment. Credit to him for trying to get the bites, absolutely. Gotta love a try. I tell you what, a lot of corporate fans here that haven't come back out for the second half, aren't there? Canada break down the right quickly. Are we going to get an early attack? Johnston keeps it in, doesn't the second time. Or does he? The flag doesn't go up. It's out for a goal kick anyway. Ah, Jay. He's still trying. Bless him. You know, Jay, you have to be careful with this because you're going to end up really regretting it if Scunthorpe are like 18th after a few months. Because they will bite back the Scots. They do remember. All right, here we go. Here's your science and nature question. Harvey, from your after dinner trivia. What is more commonly referred to as dry ice? Is it A, solid carbon dioxide, B, Cardis, or C, solid hydrogen? Question again, what is more commonly referred to as dry ice? Is it A, solid carbon dioxide, B, Cardis, or C, solid hydrogen? I know the answer to this, so I won't get involved. Liam's gone C. Macca, Harvey, Jambo J all going A. I won't regret it. Scunthorpe aren't supposed to do well. Of course you are. You finished in the playoffs last year. Don't you give me that undersell now. Come on. You know you're in for the top 7. Anything below is a failure. I'll remember it. But when you dropped to 6th last year after the fans wanted your man out. Size going A. Liam and Steve both going C. It's the smoke which is used on stage. Step away. I'll give you 10 more seconds before going in. Is Canada breaking forward again? Give the ball away again. Scunthorpe do badly or England get knocked out against Congo. It'll be fun. Hey, the English in the Discord have not been bad to you, to be fair. I think you've got caught up in the mirage of all the Scots arguing with each other. Oh, the Mexican wave. Get it in the bin. Way! Oh, that's brilliant. Serves you right. Her phone went flying when she did the Mexican wave. Brilliant. That's the best thing that's happened this whole game. Ah, do you know what? That's brilliant. We overachieved. I never once asked for Butler said I'm his biggest fan. I know you are. No, fair enough, Jumbo. So the answer, what is commonly referred to as dry ice? It is A, solid carbon dioxide. Correct? Yes. Used for the smoke stages as well. Do you know what? I'm feeling kind, and I'm going to give you a bonus one. And the only reason is, I think this is the only card I can see in the whole lot that isn't multiple choice. So I thought we'll have a laugh. I don't know why. I've gone through like at least 30 or 40 others. They're all literally A, B, or C. And in this one, just a complete open question. So, test of your periodic elements for science and nature. Which metal has the atomic symbol Cu? Which metal has the atomic symbol Cu? I remember this one from school. I always remembered the odd ones just for them not being common sense. Because you can remember the rest just by nature, can't you? Both for beat Scotland, Jay. Behave. It's be welcome in. Good to have you on the YouTube. Appreciate you being in. Can't like my opinion with Arsenal. All the ones I don't like. Sorry to the sound ones. There. To be fair, I love the Rome one they've been doing, but that was hilarious. It's great, isn't it? Oh, everyone's going copper. Lovely stuff. That was in my pub quiz a couple of weeks ago. It's always either copper. They used to always ask about gold because that was always one of the most unusual one. But then because of the drink that came along where they had it on the packaging, a lot of people know that now, particularly who would be in pub quizzes. They've sort of gone for copper as the random other one. There's normally 2 or 3 to choose from, aren't there? So yeah, very quickly, you've all gone for copper in the bonus one. And copper is, of course, the correct answer. They asked the difference between AU and AG. Yes. But my point is they always go for the ones that aren't just the first 2 letters or the first letter of their name, don't they? Gotta love a pub quiz. I'd never ever win one, but it's good fun. And welcome into those who have joined on YouTube as well. Something a bit different. Good to have you here. Well, iron and platinum, is they different? Yeah. The atomic symbol W was the one that cost my team full marks on the pitch around. Oh dear. That joke is what you say when you're saying goodbye to a policeman. See you, copper. Oh, God. Jambo, get out of Macca's house. You can't just go to people's houses in our regulars and take over their keyboards. It's not fair, Jambo. We were probably about 17 or 18. We randomly ended up doing a pub quiz when we were in a sports bar just to watch the football. We took part. We were absolutely useless because it was everyone who was sort of 50 or 60 and we knew absolutely nothing. But I was the only person at the time to get the only ever, I think it was the only ever Russian F1 driver at the time. Or the first one to score points or something, which was Vitaly Petrov. But I just remember I was the only person in the pub that got that question right. But we were useless at everything else, apart from the sports round. Or there's a lot not happy with Macca's dad jokes. Jambo's loving it. Of course he is. W, yeah, it is. W is tungsten, definitely. Something to do with Germany, if I remember. I'm presuming their original name. I noticed the bookies ads open Sunday 11/8. I thought I'd throw a tenner on that. It was open last Sunday. What? That makes no sense to me. Hang on. Am I missing a dad joke here? Hang on. I'm going to have to read it slowly. It's been a long day. Ah, that's terrible, Harvey. I'm sorry. That is so bad. That doesn't make me feel better, no. Pitch around from your quiz. I tell you what, if this game carries on at the current rate, we might as well do a bloody pub quiz, mightn't we? It has not quite caught fire just yet. Welcome in, Matt. Good to have you here. Lovely to see all the regulars joining in on Twitch. Thank you, Macca, for the resub as well. Goes back into the lead with a record-breaking 55 months. I also had a horse on at 20 to 1. It's half past now. It's still running. That might be worse, that one. Better or worse? What are we thinking? You can tell it's not been the best game of the tournament, can't you? Because we haven't got this desperate on in the 54th minute of any others. In fact, most of the days we haven't even had dad jokes till the 80th or 90th minute, which tells you where we've been here. To be honest, the way it's going, it kind of needs a Canada goal. I'll put it in general. I'd love to see how many everyone gets. Harvey looking for a pan. So I'm moving on, absolutely. Yesterday, a clown held the door open for me. Such a nice jester. Oh, dear. Oh, Jay, that's a big one. Do you know what? I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to hide for it. I'm going to do that this evening as my bedtime reading. Normally I do a crossword book or something. I'm going to keep that as my my bedtime reading. Macca, this is the problem. You think it's one little irresponsible joke, and look what happens. Right side of the box, South Africa trying to plough through. Again, it's a bit more... final pass is poor. It's a bit more persistence and perseverance rather than outright quality. I mean, sketch with a jester is hilarious. Never seen. Matt's excited as a Rangers fan. Which bit's exciting you? All into the back post dealt with by the Canada keeper. Me and my friend got 11. I'll let you know how many I get tomorrow. I've downloaded it. Canada playing out from the back. They get caught as well. South Africa player. I think he's trying to let that go out for a throw to pick it up, and then he accidentally keeps it in. It really has been a weird game, this. South Africa, while playing forward, they're not willing to take too many risks with it at the minute. Happy with the transfer. So what have we seen so far? Obviously, you've had the couple from Hearts that have been well reported, player and manager. Ben Godfrey's the one that's interesting me at the moment. In that, I'm intrigued to see whether he Someone can get the best out of him. Ah, Jake, beautiful. M&S shortbread time. I had the first half of one of the dessert treats from the bakery. I went this morning, got myself a blueberry and almond croissant, which was great. We had half of that calzone each for dinner from yesterday. But I've worked hard today. The long old trek to the bakery and back. We cut all the hedges and that in the garden. Took advantage of the Amazon sales to get all of the stuff needed for renovations. I'm a busy DIY man. Now I've realised how much it costs to get people in to come and do it for you. Jay, it's very hard to get shortbread wrong. There's the odd place that will completely overdo it or make it dry, but it's very hard to get shortbread wrong. I used to like, I think it was Asda Extra Special when we lived in Luton. It must have been because that was our local supermarket then. And he used to have this thick shortbread with chocolate chips in that was great. And then every Christmas, Amy makes boatloads of chocolate and shortbread and gingerbread. And I just put on half a stone every Christmas. Yeah, Ross McCrory. Sorry, I forgot about that. It's a good signing as well. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I said the first thing they'll need to do is get a new defence, and that's exactly what they've done. So, fair play on that front. So, yeah, football trivia quiz coming. I've only just got to your message, actually. I'm miles behind Godfrey, more clubs than Tiger Woods at the moment. Just, he hasn't settled anywhere, has he? Got the circus this week. The other lads on the podcast love talking about that. I'm not going to have a go at it now, Jay. I want that as my bedtime reading. Love McCrory at Pomby. He's a good player. Justice for Sai. Hey, Mackie, you can't expect me to be there within 3 minutes. Forced injury substitution there for Canada. Yeah, I've had a couple in this tournament, haven't they? A bit unfortunate. I think if we start well win it. I have faith in Derek. I think that's a big ask first year. And obviously the early season, he's got to juggle trying to get European group stage football as well. We got him talking about foods. And once you do that, you've got to just rule out the next 5 minutes of the stream. And I'm on roast dinner duty tomorrow. We've got a massive pork leg to make. It's going to be beautiful. Roast potatoes, everything. And I'll be settled down 5:30, ready for the build-up to... which one's the first one tomorrow? Germany's the later game, isn't it? Is it Brazil-Japan at 6? What a game. Really looking forward. I haven't had a proper day off since the World Cup started. Random food question. Do they sell macaroni pies in England? Do you know what, Mac? I know the answer to this. They sell them in farm foods as a Scottish branded product. The only reason I know this because I watched a YouTuber called Mike Jevons who a few years ago he does weeks on where he just does certain brands of food or like from certain shops. And he had macaroni pies from farm foods as part of that. I have never seen them anywhere else. They're not a normal thing down here at all. But they do physically exist in farm foods. I don't know whether they still do now, but they did a few years ago. But no, it's not the sort of thing you would regularly see down here. It's guaranteed group stage football. Lose your opening. No, it doesn't, because they're only in the second qualifier, aren't they? They've got to win 2 games, I think, to get to group stages. Scotland only, I believe, except random areas for Burns not there. Only seen them in Scotland other than what Dan said. I had one for lunch today. Delicious. I'm not a fan, and I know I'm going to get stick for this, of macaroni cheese, because, as we've discussed here before, I'm not a dairy man. Draw its playoffs. No. Rangers are second qualifier, because they've already had their draw, haven't they? Let's have a look. I thought last year it was playoffs, but then they've dropped in the coefficient. Seems to be the case. Probably the only pasta I don't like. Yeah, I always go for either a tomato or a pesto based sauce. How dairy, Harvey. Sorry, Si, I will get you a quiz in a minute. We've got on food side. I don't really eat cheese. Obviously, I'll have it on a pizza. I'll have a bit of melted cheese on like nachos or something, or burger. But I wouldn't have a predominantly cheese dish. I wouldn't eat raw cheese. I wouldn't eat cold cheese. Basically, I won't eat cheese if it hasn't been cooked, and I wouldn't eat cheese sauces. Uh, don't have butter on rolls, bread, don't eat toast, that sort of thing. So butter's basically a write-off. Only in cake recipes or shortbread or croissants. Um, egg, uh, eggs obviously outside dairy, but I wouldn't eat eggs in that sort of animal products that aren't meat. Don't drink milk. Don't like milk, milkshakes, anything like that. I basically do the other half. There are a lot of people who go vegetarian, but then can't do the last bit to go vegan because they love cheese and they love butter or whatever. So I'm sort of leveling out the world for people. I'm allowing people to do that by I eat all the meat, but I don't have then the dairy elements. No, I mean I wouldn't eat a normal bread sandwich. White sliced bread is just crap. I'm sorry. It's got to be a crusty bread or a roll or something. But no, I'd never have butter. I'd just have sauce. Brown sauce, chili sauce, depending on what it is, it can be any sauce, tzatziki's, burger sauce, I don't care. But yeah, no, I wouldn't have butter. The only time in savoury food I probably have butter would be if I'm frying mushrooms. And I'll do that in fried butter just for the flavour. My argument would be that people eating pasta in a pie need locking up. Yeah, yeah, there is definitely an argument in reverse there, isn't there? We've all got our flaws. Because I remember from that week on series Macca, I'll find it later, I'll post it in the Discord. There was macaroni cheese pie, macaroni cheese pizza, and macaroni cheese. And the actual normal macaroni cheese was the worst of the three, I think. Right, let's get a quiz up because Sai only asked a good, what are we coming up to 10 minutes ago now? 9 minutes. There you go. I've made it within 10. Butter is the flavour of life. Marco Pierre White, eh? Overrated, Marco. But then I make a better gravy than a North stock pot. So, you know, all levels out, doesn't it? Legendary chef. Disagreement on that element. He's got the character that people enjoy. I mean, I'm a like overzealous American Food Network viewer, so I'll always be a Guy Fieri pretty much every weekday evening when there's not a World Cup on. We'll be laying in bed doing crossword book, watching Diners, Drive-ins and Dives. As Ingo Canada being behind, keeper saves the first one. Oh, brilliant defending the second time. The Canada striker goes in, thinks he's got a tap in on the rebound for the empty net. And a defender comes out of nowhere there. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The keeper saved the first time is magnificent. And a defender second time. Great reaction to get back and put it out for a corner. Brilliant clearance. No, that South Africa keeper's class. He's been there for years. Jake, what's up with the food channel? Good question. So basically, I set it up obviously when I thought we were moving house initially, and then it took 2.5 years to happen. What I basically did over the last year, I thought about just putting out a few silly things, and I thought, no, I want to do it properly. So we've had most of the kitchen renovation and changes we want done. I've made quite a lot of recipe videos and trials and things, and got a few that I'm happy with. And once I've got enough to release a block, I'll put them all out. But I kind of want it to be quite a specific type of channel. But it's not gone. It's just that I've tried to think it through and make sure it was a longer term thing rather than just chucking it out initially. And you got to have a presentable kitchen as well, which was the main thing. Looking at the ref view for this one. So on the subject, as Sai's requested, on the subject of South Africa and Canada, can you name the top 10 Premier League appearance makers of South African descent? So the top 10 South African Premier League appearance makers. Can you name them? I have heard of 9 out of 10 of them. Good luck with the last one. I'm saying he looks like him. I've not seen a close-up, to be fair. St Johnston got to stay up, one of McKinney's former side. St Johnston will stay up, I think. Be interesting to see how they adapt style of football-wise. Benny McCarthy is correct, Jake. 6th place with 120 between Blackburn and West Ham. Welsh football fixtures out next week. Brilliant. Non-leagues coming soon as well, isn't it? And the FLTV picks this week, so we can get the August and September trips booked. I'm waiting on the TV news before I book my tickets for the Fleetwood first round of the FA Cup League Cup, and for Swindon in the September international break. Stephen Pienaar is correct, Harvey. Top of the tree, Everton, Tottenham and Sunderland, 214. Completely forgot he played for Sunderland. Lucas Radabe is correct. Second place with 197 all for Leeds. Lyle Foster, correct, Steve. 50 on the dot as we go to the hydration break with Burnley. Sai Masinga, correct. Probably the one I would have forgotten. 31 for Leeds in 10th place. McQuenna is spot on. 4th place, Sai. Well done. So the question again, top 10 Premier League appearance makers from South Africa. So yes, Aaron McQuenna, 124 between Blackburn and Portsmouth. Quinton Fortune is correct. Sai and Jake both in there. 82 between United and Bolton. Forgot he was another one that Big Sam had in for a bit, wasn't he? Went with Moyes. Yeah, completely forgot about that. I remember it now, I've seen it, just I'd forgotten at the time. McCarthy and Radabay are the only two I would have got. Forgot all about Pienaar yet. Some good players in there. There are 2 remaining. Chose to blank him out. Was one of the few Moyes brought in who was honking from the Everton days. Yeah, you had a tough year that year, didn't you? Radaby's been got, Liam. Correct answer, but he's been got. The last 2, defender and midfielder. Brian Oviedo, yeah, went from Everton to Sunderland, but that was after he had a couple of big injuries, wasn't it? Fella who played for Palace is correct. I'll give you it, Jake, because it's a very hard name to remember. Kashigo Dikajoy, 39 appearances between Fulham and Crystal Palace in midfield, which leaves 1 vintage 2000 central defender. And for those of you who remembered Soccer AM back in the day, had a very unique warm-up pre-match. I remember it from a Soccer AM episode. I'll see if I can find the clip while we're doing it. Hopefully without making too many sounds. Oviedo was really good for us once we got relegated to League One. I think I can find it. I really remember the clip as well. Guest teams in Scottish Challenge Cup, yeah. I don't think... Oh, hang on. No. Not going to be able to find the clip, annoyingly. Not a Koku, no. Central defender, also played for Bolton. I just remember the warm-up clip. That's why I never forget him. He was part of that very good Charlton defence in the early 2000s. That was always consistent under Kirbishley until they decided they wanted more than finishing 12th in the Premier League every year. Got Ian Dowie in League One football. It is a smelly second name. You're absolutely right, Jake. Oviedo was brilliant against United, scored twice against them, but not great against anyone else. I always remember him being a very solid player in FM. There was about 3 or 4 years in a row at Everton where, because Baines was there, he was always transfer listed at the start of the game, wasn't he? And you could bring him in for like 2 or 3 million. So if you were starting as one of the relegation contenders, you always brought him in. Yeah, Mark Fish. To be honest, that was a really underrated Premier League team. They had Fish and Rufus at centre-half. Luke Young was at right-back, who obviously went on to be England's right-back for a while. Konchesky at left-back, who went on to be England and West Ham and Liverpool and so on. Fulham in Europa League final. Dean Kiley was solid as a rock in sticks. You had young Scott Parker, Matty Holland in midfield, Graham Stewart back then. Overhead kick king Jonathan Johansson up front, remember him? Oh, and there's one more we haven't got. And Sai's got it there. The other Charlton one, I nearly gave the name away. Sean Bartlett is the final name. 123 appearances, one behind Mark Fish. Sean Bartlett is the final one on the list. You've got Pienaar, Radabay, Fish, McQuenna, Bartlett, Benny McCarthy, Quinton Fortune, Lyle Foster, Dicker Choi, and Messinga. I enjoyed that one. Pompey interested in Borja Sainz. Bloody hell, where's that come from? Has Mousinho threatened to leave or something? How the hell's that happened? I mean, I suppose being interested in him and signing him is a very different thing. I would imagine so, Harvey. With the greatest respect to you, I think he could get a better move at the minute. Mark Fish was a really good player when the chips were down. Oh, God. Jumbo, leave Macca alone. Oh, I can't take it from more than one angle. It's better than any of Jambo's, I'll give you that. Interestingly, since Luton signed Johnson at the start of the window, they have been linked with absolutely nobody, apart from re-signing Casey Palmer. Still no news on Adebayo, which I presume means, with 2 days to go, that he's not going to be signing a new deal. Fish got battered most weeks. Oh, make it stop. Make it stop, man. I think we might end up with extra time here, mightn't we? It's not going to be the early night. So yeah, if anyone's going down to Reading Luton on the first day of the season, I'll see you there. As a very grumpy man who would have had to get a 5:20 bus at the start of the morning. And will have spent, after the ticket and train, the best part of £100 on watching Luton lose, probably. Mackie, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's not my place to post these. Oh, God. I nearly missed the eye there. We're signing Rocco Sheen from Estonia. Looks like a good player. 2.5 is more than we've spent for many. Looks like they're sort of moving towards that data approach, doesn't it? Excuse me, as the hay fever kicks in. Always in the right place as a centre-back. God. Why did I pick that quiz? And live to regret it. Long ball forward to South Africa, and actually they're starting to become the stronger side here. Oh, he just couldn't get it out of his feet to switch it quickly, but they've got a 4-on-3. Can the delivery be right again? Massively overhit. The fullback, the winger on the right side has done so well to keep that in play because it was massively overhit. Then the shot from distance is over. You floundered that one, God. My other half used to play Animal Crossing when it first came out, and all of these crap fish jokes were in that game as well. She used to randomly just laugh in the corner and in turn to show me it, and it was all the same crap. Iron Brew Cup best name. Oh, it's between Iron Brew and Tunnet's Caramel Wafer Cup. Not saying it's bad, but it's weird signing someone from a mid-table Norwegian club rather than a top of the table one. Doesn't matter too much, does it? I just hope it's not as bad as when we signed someone from Norway who was a good player, then we just wasted him, so let him go to the Eredivisie and he put goals in galore. Milk Cup Harvey. So that's one taking us back. LDV Vans Trophy, that used to be a good one. I've got to say, and I know Jake mentioned it a bit earlier on, Canada have been so disappointing here. The Papa John's Trophy, it doesn't slip off the tongue, does it? Johnston Paint I always used to like, and obviously we won it, but... Right, Canada have got a chance to break at last. There's a 5-on-4 if they can make it quick. The delivery against poor, but they've got space. Oh, you've got to pass that. You've got to pass that. It's Promise on the edge of the box, and he's shot, but he's got a man over to his right who's in one-on-one. Oh, that's so greedy. Cross-border clubs make it good. Agreed. Claudio Braga at Hearts was signed from a Norwegian second division team. There's gems in those leagues. Of course there are. And there'll be some dross at the top clubs. It's the way it works, but... And the good thing, I guess, for Scottish football and for lower league football is there are a lot of a lot of players who are looking for a gateway to the Premier League, and the EFL and the Scottish Premier League are probably two of those paths, aren't they? If we're being realistic. There's 15 minutes to go here, or just under, plus stoppage time. There are a few signs that both teams are starting to go for it and open up a bit here, but there's not been much quality in front of goal. Although the expected goals for Canada over one, but then I guess most of that will be those three that were off the line at the end of the first half. It's still a Scottish trophy though, isn't it? But I just think it had a lot more intrigue in it and a lot more eyes on it when it featured the other nations. But I can understand from the commercial point of view as well. 1-2 there for Canada down the right. Playing with a little bit more urgency, but it's not quite been perfect yet. Yeah, it's one thing we always love in pre-season, and it means you can't plan the streams till later. But when you get those BBC Scotland, S4C, BBC Northern Ireland showing the qualifying matches, it's nice to get a few in. And hopefully we'll be able to do that this year as well. As Canada break in, oh, keeper makes the save. It wasn't convincing, but he kept it out. Canada again left side of the box. Starting to see some good chances here. I like to see the other teams back in rather than the B teams. Imagine the scenes if Sterling playing away at Real after this save FM. Absolutely brilliant, isn't it? It just adds an element of fun for, like, you're a lower league Scottish fan. You're very unlikely to ever get to the SPL. And if you are, you're even more unlikely to get to Europe. To have those away days in sort of Wales and the Republic of Ireland or whatever, like, it's something, and even to a National League club in England, it's something so cool, isn't it? I just think I'd be all for it. Yeah, hopefully, Matt, we'll get a few. And we'll definitely obviously do watch-alongs if we can. I know the first qualifying round, the Tuesday night, and that will clash with a World Cup semi-final, so that might be difficult. But from that point on, we should be able to get a few in. We signed Sorensen, who just got promoted out of Tier 3 in Norway. Not near the level, but was a panic after Bishop had his heart problem last summer. The Great Modi, thank you for the YouTube sub. And Jonas as well. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Sold him back to the same price. He's just signed for Zwolle. Oh, there you go. Oh, so you have done the same as us. Sign someone from Norway and send them back out to the Netherlands. Yeah, there's something special about it, Macca, for the lower leagues. I would have loved it if Luton were in the National League still now, to have the prospect of going to, say, Ayr United or Stirling or Dumbarton or whatever. Would be cool. A mini Europe. Yeah. Connors Key played Queen's Park, Queen of the South yesterday. Oh, brilliant. Might be someone else in Wales. Who knows? The closest we get to Europe is Berwick away. Just as exciting, Macca, I'm sure. Yeah, but Liam, not everyone's going to settle. Not everyone's family's going to have the right move for them. He's come and give it a go. It's not worked out. You're going to get ones like that. Bishop off to Sheffield Wednesday now. Hasn't arrived at pre-season. Yeah, it looks like he'll be playing up front with Jerry Yates as well, who appears to be on his way there too. So, busy summer at Sheffield Wednesday. They've gone big, haven't they? Slattery from Motherwell as well. They were talking about trying to get Barry Bannon back. Yeah, I think I'm actually almost starting to get more worried about them than Leicester now for next year. South Africa trying to play out. Canada are piling the pressure on now. Actually quite like the trip to Berwick. Cracking social club and a right old school ground. To be fair, Macca, I know it's not a sport you like, but it's something I've quite enjoyed up here. Because there's 2 or 3 cricket clubs in like every town. Something you just don't have down south. But they've all got brilliant bars and social clubs because they obviously rent out the facilities for parties and things. And they've got a lot of old members who come in and watch for 6-7 hours a day. They're brilliant places to go and spend your afternoon. To have a drink, watch a bit of local live sport. Like, it's a really cool thing up north that just you don't have down there. It almost gives you the vibe of like when you go to random 6th, 7th, 8th tier lower league football. Excuse me. Not to mention that a lot of them are in pretty scenic locations as well. As Hart said, the deal was done. Subject to a medical, I bet. No clue what happened last season, but he'll score in League One. Oh, of course he will. If Colby Bishop is fit, he's a guaranteed sort of 15-goal a season striker there, isn't he? I would have been delighted if we were signing him. As Canada play long forward, is the striker onside? Oh, he's tried to play through the legs. Where is the final product? Just keep it simple. I'm getting nervy now because I'm sensing extra time, which is not a good bit of news. South Africa have stayed in the game. You've got to give them credit. They've done exactly what they did in the second and third match, which, let's be honest here, and we have to be fair, while it's not that entertaining to watch at times, when we watched that first game of the tournament, Mexico-South Africa, nobody would have seen South Africa getting 4 points in the next 2 games and then keeping a clean sheet for 85 minutes in the knockout match. So you've got to give credit. Oh no, Harvey's asked for the football joke book. You say you need more jokes and then you pick this where there's, as we've seen before, barely a joke in there. The league phase is still here in the Scottish Challenge Cup. I'll tell you where the jokes aren't. Right, let's work out where we got to. Oh, we got to Finney Jones, didn't we? Finney Jones on the fish jokes, yeah. There you go. I'll give you a couple just for the fun of it, Harvey. The doctor was giving members of the team a medical. Breathe out 3 times, he said to one of the players. Are you checking my lungs? Asked the player. No, I'm going to clean my spectacles, replied the doctor. Wow. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This one's a classic. Not sure why it's football related, but here we go. And this one's a question. What 2 things should a footballer never eat before breakfast? See if you can get involved in the chat for this one. What 2 things should a footballer never eat before breakfast? Welcome in, Mike. Good to have you here. Correct, Macca. Lunch and dinner. Absolutely awful. Oh, God. It's getting worse. Why was the centipede no use to the football team? Why was the centipede no use to the football team? I was going to say football. The centipede no use to the football team. He never arrived on the pitch until half-time. It took him so long to lace up his boots. I think that's enough of that for tonight. My God. Canada break down the right. Defender slips, but the second one's there to cover and clear. You enjoying the game, Mike? Are you watching? It's been an interesting match without being hugely dramatic because the South Africa player takes one hell of a dive there. And to be fair, the referee has not bored it. It was a classic swan dive. Definitely not the best option of matches to attend. Blatantly, no. It's been... You say that. It's not been for the lack of trying. Like, both teams have put a lot of quality into it. A lot of effort into it, but without showing the real quality. It's not like the teams have set up for a draw. They've both played. They've both created chances. Just the final ball's been really poor tonight. Mike, there's a lot of Messi Ronaldo chat today, isn't there? 2 players that have both had big moments in the World Cup already. Be interesting to see which team gets further in this one. He's gone 10 yards, Harvey. Yeah, it's an incredible dive, wasn't it? Exactly. Most fans I'm here with don't understand that. No. And it's a difficult match in the sense that a lot of people just want to see goals and entertainment. And for most of this World Cup, we've had it. I mean, even look last night, Algeria, Austria, probably one of the best games you'll see in a World Cup for a long time. And it has been such an entertaining tournament that these games do then become more of a standout. But it's not one of those games where we've seen a team sit 10 behind the ball, which we thought South Africa might do at a time. And then it's been a little bit defensive. But that's not been the case here. Both teams have gone for it. It's just the choices with the final pass and in some cases shooting instead of passing have been really poor. I think, unfortunately, we're going to get extra time because of that. I tell you what, Macca, as you've asked so nicely, I'll give you one more. Just because it's so good. How does an octopus go onto a football pitch? How does an octopus go onto a football pitch? Well armed. Let's catch up with the rest of the chat. Yeah, so it's on YouTube Shorts, Macca. We're simulcasting. That's it. There was no Ken, Ben, or Les or Des. No, there were no double name jokes today, Harvey. They obviously thought the jokes were strong enough to carry themselves without the name. Liam, hey, come on, Si, I had to wait 9 minutes. You've barely been two. We'll get the other ref in a second. Looks like we're going to have an extra half an hour to do it anyway. Yeah, I'm really surprised they got rid of the Welsh League Cup straight away. And obviously, as they've released no information about the league, it's going to make it interesting. As Canada break down the left-hand side, cut back to the edge of the box, and again, it's under hit. Again, it's under hit. I won't gamble on that, Liam, because it could go wrong. I've seen plenty of good 0-0 draws. That hasn't been one given the missed chances. But I wouldn't say it's been one of the worst ones I've seen. Because I've seen some very terrible 0-0s with barely any goal malfaction or quality. Whereas this one, Canada have had a couple of great chances. They obviously had the one off the line at the end of the first half. On another day, they could have won this 2 or 3-0. South Africa have given as good as they can. But you've got to remember, for both of these, this is sort of uncharted territory, isn't it? So when we get to this stage, it's always going to be quite difficult. But I guess if nothing else, we'll at least get the drama of penalties at the end. Let's catch up again. He doesn't have any arms, does it? According to that, he does. You can take it up with... who wrote this? Doesn't say. It's only got the illustrator on it, who we can't blame. Must be contracts not running out until July the 1st. I think we'll get a few announcements after that. You'd like to hope so. Kilmarnock signed a player from Barrytown. They did. Simulcasting, Mackie. Yeah, they offered me a free why not stream to a vertical output at the same time. So I went, well, let's do it. For the watch-alongs, the format works in vertical as well. See you later, Mike. Thank you very much for popping in. Good to have you here. Appreciate you coming to say hello. We are back to FM tomorrow on the YouTube as well with Real. This is the only game tonight yet. Then all the others flushed across the week. It's not Keith, is it? It will be in a minute. American fans want goals. They like fast-paced action. No, absolutely. It's the reason that's always been levelled in Europe why American sports don't take off in Europe and vice versa, because A, the amount of commercials, but also the amount of point scoring and understanding the concept of, I mean, try and explain Test cricket to Americans. 5 days and you might not have a winner. It's an alien thing, isn't it? I don't think this has been a terrible game by any stretch. It's just lacking a little bit of quality, which maybe on paper with these two sides you would have potentially seen coming. 5 minutes added on to avoid extra time. Interesting if any more Welsh players go to Scotland from the Welsh leagues. It's what it needs, isn't it? Is a few players to go across the leagues and also to get some transfer fees for them. Which save was Derek Waterboss? Oh, I don't know. Derek Wales boss, sorry. Oh, that was the real save, yeah. Derek McInnes was Wales manager and Eric Ten Hag was Northern Ireland manager. I think McInnes might still be the Wales manager. I'll have to check. Fast pace with so many breaks. Slow it down, have less breaks. Evens out. Absolutely, Harvey. That's the way to look at it. Blake, you can't worry about it. As long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing. It's the reason it's the most popular sport in the globe, isn't it? You have to take solace from that. Edge of the box, Canada on the strike. Oh, it's in! What a finish! 91st minute goal. There's the quality we've been waiting for. What a strike that is. We've been crying out for a final product in this game. And it has come in style in stoppage time, and probably just so for Canada. Now we're going to have to do a You're the Ref quick, aren't we? Alternative universe indeed, Matt, yeah. But then, hey, the real football world's becoming the FM world. You've got Jack Wilshere v Aaron Ramsey in League One next year. Christian Fuchs has just led Newport to survival and then walked midway through pre-season. We're living in that. Kieran Dyer's at Southend. The ball's into the box, headed away at the near post. The midfielder dropped deep. The Canada midfielder, one touch out of his foot on the half volley. It's a stunning strike. He's caught that beautifully. They're so easy to get under and just put 20 yards over the bar. Right into the side netting. Keeper's got absolutely no chance. And Canada score, but we have had a minute since the goal went in. Which means we're going to have at least 4 more. Jambo, don't count your chickens yet. There's still a few more minutes. They've been setting up for that all day. This is why it was not a terrible 0-0. And to be fair, Canada have been the aggressors for the most part. So it's probably deserved as they nick the ball there at right back with Johnston, who's had a good game back there. Let's get the You're the Ref out. Where have I put the book? Oh, it's underneath the printer. Bear with me. Hoping to jinx it, Jambo. Update your scoreboard, Macca. There you go. There you go, Macca. We normally rely on Jake for that. Update your scoreboard. Short back pass just made by the Canada keeper. Do you know what? I've seen a lot worse games. I've seen a lot worse Luton games recently as well. As Canada trying to break through again. Promise causing problems, but cleared away. Match number 18. I enjoy it, Blakely, honestly. Because it's just, there's nothing better than a major tournament in terms of going to games. We had it here 4 years ago with the Women's Euros, which was just, it's brilliant. The festival of football, fans from all over Europe. Obviously, we've got the European Championship, the men's ones here in 2 years. I'm desperate to get to as many games as possible. It'll be group games for me to afford them probably, but absolutely love it. It's a brilliant event. What it does for a nation, for a city, it's brilliant. Hearts did get their new boss, yeah. No, we've got to do it now, Liam. We've got to have a bit of fun. There's plenty of Keith Hackett scenarios for us to do more than one. Right, we did the yellow scarf last time, didn't we? Let's see. Oh, I like this one. Any more of the crap baits I've missed? You haven't, Jambo? Big for Wales, indeed. Americans are basically already declaring themselves Women's World Cup champions. Thoughts on that? Because that's what I'm hearing. It's very bold considering that the last World Cup final was played between two European teams. Obviously, they've got Emma Hayes, who was a fabulous manager over here. So that will be a string to their bow. They've got a very good side. I would argue a lot of the European nations have caught up in terms of funding, in terms of athleticism and physicality, which is where the US were ahead for so long. So I wouldn't go as far as to say they're going to be champions straight away. But I think some of the best European nations are coming towards the end of their cycles. So they've got a better chance than they had at the last one. And I think probably after 3 major tournament finals and 2 victories, it might be the end of England's run to the final 2. Yeah, just a lot of fish jokes. It'll be intriguing, though. It will be, Blakely, to be honest. I tried one of those jokes, but it was just a red herring. Oh, God. Right, here we go. We've got a multiple choice to finish off from Keith Hackett. What better way to finish our evening while South Africa push for an equaliser? Headed out for a throw for them. And let's see how we go. We have got, in the 51st minute of an amateur game, you suddenly realise to your horror that the teams didn't change ends at half-time. Do you A, take no action, B, wait for a break in play, enforce the change of ends and play the 40 minutes remaining, or C, stop the game and replay the second half in full, or D, do something else? I'm guessing by the fact he's put that as just something else. Generally, surely it won't be that, but I'll give it you as the option. So you realise you forgot to switch ends at half time. You've got to the 51st minute. What do? Do you A, take no action, B, wait for a break in play, enforce it and play the rest, C, stop the game and replay the second half in full, or D, do something else? So Jambo, this scenario or this page was done on the podcast, so you might have seen it. As is the referee going to blow his whistle? It's to his mouth. The whistle goes. Canada have made it to the last 16, as we predicted. Birchie went for 1-0, didn't he? Most of us were right with a Canada win, but boy, they left it late. And South Africa, fair play to them. They didn't have a huge amount of quality going forward, but they fought so hard. And they've had a really good tournament, given how poor their first game was. But Canada are the ones celebrating. The hosts are into the last 16. They're still going to be playing in the US, but that is an incredible achievement for them. A wonderful goal fitting of winning the match in the 92nd minute. And Canada march on. An interesting game without being a brilliant one. Let's finish off by seeing out this scenario. And then we'll leave you to enjoy your evening. I think a couple asked if we're live next week. We are. Tuesday at 6 o'clock for the first of the two that day. Thursday at 8 p.m. Friday, 7 p.m. All watch-alongs. You can find the schedule on the Discord. But yeah, Tuesday, 6 p.m. we will be here. Norway, Ivory Coast. Looks a really interesting game, that. So, let's catch up with what you've all gone for. Leeds have got a lot of Wales players, with Harry Wilson being added to it now, isn't he? Liam's gone B. Change ends and played the last 40. Jambo's gone C. Stop and replay the whole second half. Steve's gone B, just replay the rest. A would be common sense, so it's clearly not that Macca. Yep, absolutely correct. Harvey D, worry why not one person out of the 22 and coaches never noticed. That's fair. Jake said a tight Canada win in the Discord. Couldn't have been much closer. No, but delighted we're going to get an early night tonight. Steve, like I said, comfortable Canada win. To be fair, you could say it was comfortable to the extent that they weren't tested much, but certainly wasn't in terms of result. A lot of similarities maybe to the England-Panama game, just without the final touch for Canada for a bit longer. Right, let me give you the answer to finish us off. A little mix down in the chat, but the answer from Keith is... Oh. I think this is an error in the book. Keith Hackett says D, do something else. We'll come back to this. D, do something else. Keith says you should stop the game, order the team to switch ends, then restart the second half and play the full 45 minutes, not 40, plus any stoppage time. Then report the matter and yourself to the authorities. Good referees use a notebook to record who kicked off to avoid situations like this. So, let me just read you this again. The first bit. Keith Hackett said D, do something else. And he says, you should stop the game, order the teams to switch ends, then restart the second half and play the full 45 minutes. Now, if I go back to the multiple choice answers, Keith Hackett says, do you see? But Harvey, he said D, do something else. But scenario C, if you remember, which a few of you voted for, was stop the game and replay the second half in full. So he said you need to do something else and then told you to complete scenario C. So unless, as you say, Jumbo, he's saying adding on reporting yourself to the authorities, but the actual scenario and the outcome to the match is C, not D. Has Keith forgotten what he's written? Or is he just being panicky about the match report being a different scenario? But I appreciate that, Harvey, and that's fine. But it says, what action do you take? And the action you take is the action listed in C. Exactly, it's complete scenario C and then report yourself. He doesn't do in every scenario, you do something different and then report yourself, meaning it's a different answer. He's had us there, Keith. I'm not having that. If you said C or you said D, you're both correct. Because Keith was trying to take us for a ride there. He's finished off by upsetting us. But we've had a good evening, I think. Who's grassing themselves in? Absolutely. United States is second in ranking behind Spain, a European team. It's It's an incredible time for the three hosts. They've all done brilliantly. I'm intrigued to see how the USA deals with Bosnia because they're going to sit deep. They're going to be very gutsy, gritty in defence, but not really coming out to play and leaving space in behind, which the US have really benefited from in some of their games. So I think it's going to be an interesting game where the US will have to be patient, a bit like Canada were tonight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all of them, to be honest. It's one of those I'll have to catch up on the next day because it's an overnight one here, I think. Oh, the women's ranking, sorry. Yeah, well, Spain won the last World Cup. England won the Women's Euros. I don't know that you can base too much on FIFA World Rankings, though. As we've discussed a lot in this men's tournament, FIFA World Rankings do have their criticisms. But no, honestly, I love the major tournaments. Men's, women's, Euros, AFCONs, World Cups, I love it all. So I'm hoping it'll be a good tournament, which is the most important thing. I do worry for England, though, because a lot of the key players are coming to the end of a generation. And, I mean, we've got to qualify still. We've got the playoffs to go through. More in the category of things that will never happen, Harvey, exactly. Jesse Marsh and his team talk on the pitch. He loves being the main character, doesn't he? Bless him. Belgium were top of the rankings for ages for some reason in the men's. Yeah, I remember that. On the basis of Nations League and qualifiers, wasn't it? Spain is not by any means the best women's team. I don't think they are now, but given that they've had a World Cup win and a Euros final, the rankings are going to be skewed on that. And you can understand why, but again, a lot of those people are coming towards the end. Obviously, one of their star players, former Ballon d'Or winner, has just gone to London City Lionesses too. With Mary Earps, ironically. FIFA rankings are how Morocco were not in pot one, exactly. But then, to be fair, Morocco have only shot up to 7th in the world rankings because of the admin change to give them the AFCON title rather than Senegal. Rather than based on what they did on the pitch. Who are we raiding, Jambo? We are going to go over to M. Breezy, who is rebuilding Brescia. We all have a bit of Italian football, don't we? So we're going to go and say hello there. I do want to say a massive thank you this evening to everyone who's joined in on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you, Maka, breaking the record, 55 months on the resub. Thank you to all the new followers on both. We will be back on Tuesday, 6 p.m. UK time. We're going to be watching Norway, Ivory Coast. I'm really looking forward to it. Back on YouTube tomorrow with the real save, as always. Thank you for spending your evening with me. Have a good rest of it. If you're on Twitch, we're going to go over to Breezy now, where you can go and watch a little bit of FM. And if you're on YouTube, I'll be saying a good evening to you and have a good night. But thank you so much for being here. I've loved all the football chat. And hopefully we'll do it all again on Tuesday. And touch wood, maybe with a slightly more entertaining game and a higher quality game. Either way, Canada are through. And one of the hosts are into the last 16. Let's go over to Breezy. Have a good rest of your evening, everyone.